Hello, this is Mimi. This is my very first video, so please excuse me if I sound nervous or if the audio is bad, I apologize. I decided to make this video because I have a few opinions I'd like to share regarding the Danganronpa series. I've been a very avid fan of the series for a few years, and with the English release of Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony fast approaching, I'd like to make a few theories based on the trailers and info I've seen so far. I've been very careful about avoiding spoilers for this series, so all I know is what the trailers have told. I may be very incorrect, but speculation is always fun. If possible, please do not comment any spoilers until the official Western release, as for the courtesy of others. I'll be sure to leave links to my sources if you're interested in watching any of them yourself. Also, all of the music in this video was created by Insane in the Rain Music, a very talented YouTuber and musician who does jazz covers of video games. If you somehow have not heard of them, please go listen and support their channel, as a lot of time and work goes into these things. The music does not belong to me. Without further ado, let's jump into it. At the beginning of the E3 2017 English trailer, we first start off by being presented with the rules. As usual, many of the rules presented are the same ones seen as previous games, but there are a few new ones that give us very interesting information about the newest killing game. For example, Rule 1. Students must live at the Ultimate Academy for the remainder of their foreseeable future. Already something new. Ultimate Academy. I'm unsure if this is referring to Hope's Peak Academy or a completely new school. Right now, I don't know when V3 is taking place in the Danganronpa timeline, so I can't make a conclusive guess. If this is taking place in current events, it would be happening right after the third anime, Kibo Hint, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Is the new Hope's Peak made by Makoto and the other survivors the new grounds for the killing game? It is a completely new building and a campus to boot, kind of dulling that theory. If this Ultimate Academy is another school, it could possibly be a school that was made even before Hope's Peak, but seeing the trailer, Monokuma says, "Third time's a charm," making me believe that this isn't a prequel, at least to the first game. But then again, knowing Kodaka, anything is a possibility. If this is going anywhere, I'd better move on. Rule number 6. The killing game and class trials will continue until only 2 surviving students remain. This is really interesting to me because I've never seen a rule like this. It says that only 2 students will result in the game being over. Does this mean only 2 people will survive this time? I doubt it, but seeing a limit really piqued my curiosity. There has never really been a limit to how many people will die, but I suppose if it came down to it, then at some point the game would have to end due to numbers. The fact that there's even a small difference is strange to me either way. It may be nothing, or perhaps it could be something as big as a new mastermind. There is one instance of this in Danganronpa 2, where the game ends because there are 5 people left, but that is due to the Neo program needing more than half of the surviving students in order to start the forced shutdown sequence. I don't know if this is something similar or not, but oh well. Rule number 7. Nighttime is from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. The dining hall and gymnasium are off limits at night. This is a tiny change, but nighttime now ends at 8 a.m. rather than 7 a.m. like usual. In the second game, at nighttime, no areas that are normally accessible are closed or blocked off. In the first game, rule number 2 says that some areas are off limits at night, but they never directly say what areas. This doesn't come into play for any of the trials either. This makes me wonder, why would they make the dining hall and gym inaccessible at night? And why those specific rooms, you have to ask. It may not have anything to do with the plot, but nevertheless, I'll be sure to keep it in mind for future trials. Rule number 9. Monokuma will never directly commit a murder. This is also a new rule to the series. In the first game, Monokuma actually does commit a murder, and it is a vital part of the mystery of the game. Saying that Monokuma won't kill anyone is very intriguing. In the second game, Monokuma does not kill anyone, so perhaps this is just a validation for the nitpicky fans. But this definitely lets you see for yourself how the games have changed over time. Rule number 10. Your mana pads are very important items. Please do not damage them. Once again, a new name for something. I'm assuming the mana pads are this game's version of the e-handbook. While this may not be any big change, it is a change nonetheless. The names have been the same for the first 2 games, so why change them? Another factor alluding to the idea of a new mastermind. Another thing, it says not to damage them. Again, in the first game, damaging your e-handbook is a crucial element in figuring out who the killer is in the second trial. Will this factor not be implemented again? One more thing to note, the use of the word please. This makes me think that the rule can be exploited in some manner. Perhaps someone will break the rule, but because the rule isn't definitive, they won't be punished. I can see this being used to try and lead the students to believe there's no way said rule breaker can be the killer. Rule number 12. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore the campus at your discretion. This rule seems the same as normal at first glance, but it says campus. The first game was inside of a 5-story school. The second game was on 5 connected islands, and now we're on a campus. This means more school-like things to explore rather than islands, which is both exciting and similar to the previous games. My idea is that as people get murdered, rather than unlock floors or islands, you unlock buildings on campus. I'm not really sure if areas are blocked off, or doors are locked, or maybe they don't exist. Example, it's a game, so buildings can be taken and brought at will. Either way, I can't say I'm not excited to see how the new campus and facilities will be involved. Rule number 13. Students who violate these rules will immediately be exterminated by the Exisals. The final rule I will be discussing. This ties back to Rule 9, that Monokuma is not allowed to kill anyone. In case you were thinking, doesn't that mean he can't hurt any rule breakers? Here's the loophole. I honestly have zero idea what the Exisals are, due to me avoiding spoilers, but my guess is that they are either A, the new Monokumas that were brought into the game, or B, the robots the Monokumas are seen coming out of at the very beginning of the trailer. Okay, as I said, done with the rules. The first thing I noticed while watching this trailer was the new seating arrangements. This time around, the seats in the trial room look much more futuristic and can even float. It's shown that they can float even when someone is standing on them. This seems very futuristic to me, which makes me want to believe that it could possibly take place in the later future, or is another variant of the Neo World program, or some other virtual reality. The glowing blue highlights are also very prominent, and they seem to be a recurrent theme for this game's scenery. Next topic. What is this key all about? Is it about the Exisals? Execution? Something else? I have no idea. It appears to have something to do with the class trial, and again, the bright blue makes its entrance again. My personal idea about this is that the key is connected to the mini-games we see in another trailer. I'll talk about those soon, but I think this may be what triggers them or turns them on, seeing as it's Monokuma's hand which turns it, and his face is on the key. And yet again, on to the next topic. A new game mode! Oh boy, oh me, oh am I getting giddy thinking about it. Okay, let's go over the name for starters. Mass Panic Debate. This is obviously very similar to the feature we know and love as non-stop debates, but it's altered. This is shown right after, making it apparent that this is the Mass Panic Debate. It is the non-stop debate, but rather than dealing with one person at a time, there are 3 visible people making their points. You can also see that you still have your normal truth bullets and truth cylinder available. From all that I've seen about these Mass Panic debates, I haven't seen any weak points, argue, or agree, which makes me a bit confused. I'm unsure if there's only one person you must fire a truth bullet at, or if you have to refute them all, which seems less likely to me. There may also be a feature where you absorb one person's statement to refute another, but then again, you may not even be able to do that while in this mode. Whatever it may be, it is a very interesting idea to bring into the game, while keeping the old non-stop debates alive. And on to yet another new game feature. This shows a side view of the characters while talking about their own specific, my personal guess, truth bullets. When I first saw this, my guess was that you have to somehow refute, agree, or convince the other people to move onto the right side of the screen. I'm a bit confused to see how both sides seem to have the same truth bullet / word. Maybe this just means that they have to agree with one another, so you have to fire the bullet. Whatever you have to do, it's very different from any feature we've seen up till now. One of the next images we see for this feature is a view of Oma. His truth bullet is simply ? Which makes me question if these are actually truth bullets or not. Why is it not shown? Is it something completely new, or could it be a truth bullet you already have, you're just unsure about which one it is specifically? Either way, seeing this made me have another theory involving this gameplay. What if, by some means, you move the people / bullets / words from the left side of the screen over to the right, and then rebut one single person left on the left side? Perhaps in every trial or every time they have this feature, one person's argument is unknown. That's the person you have to counter. If so, everyone's points would be bound together to rebut or reveal this hidden point. Now this right here really makes me want to believe my theory. Full counter? Everyone is banding together to address the one point that is still on the left side. Seeing the absence of Mute, who was previously on the left, makes me want to think that you have to rebut and remove the points on the left rather than convince them to move onto your side. Then you fire the most biggest badass truth bullet and take down that fool. I apologize. One other minor thing I'd like to point out that is difficult to explain without having visuals, so hopefully the visuals will explain it for me, is the way they express emotion in this game. It's almost like another visual novel or an anime or something, the way they show things like depressing lines or flowers if they're happy or things of the such. I think it's a cute touch, and I actually personally really like it. I'm not a huge fan of the font change though. That might just be me, but I think it makes it a bit more difficult to read, and I don't know. I like the traditional font, but this is fine. It's not gonna stop me from buying the game. And that is it for my analysis of the E3 2017 English dub trailer. The link will be down below to the original YouTube video, which is where I got all of the images. Of course, they don't belong to me, only the theories and the writing and my voice are my work. I will be making a follow-up video on this on the character analysis. I just thought this video was getting a bit too long, and I didn't want it to go on forever because when it comes to characters, I become very passionate. Thank you so much for making it this far. I hope you enjoyed what you watched. I apologize for any issues with the audio. I tried my best to fix them, but there were some things that just kind of had to stay. And I also apologize if the audio is very quiet. I do not have the best mic at the moment. I'm going to try to fix that in the future, maybe. We'll see. But thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. If you have anything to add on to the series without spoiling, then go ahead and comment. I would love to read comments. I don't know if I'll get any of those though. I don't even know if anyone will watch this, but oh well. Thank you so much again. Please check out all the links in the description, and I'll see you next time. Mata ne!